AI is reshaping knowledge work, the next automation revolution. In 1900, machines transformed physical labor. Factories amplified human strength. Steam engines multiplied human effort. Assembly lines accelerated production. For the first time in history, machines could perform tasks once done by human muscles. A century later, computers transformed information. Spreadsheets replaced ledgers. Databases replaced filing cabinets. Search engines replaced hours in the library. Machines were no longer helping humans move objects. They were helping humans move information. Now a new shift is underway, one that may prove just as significant. For the first time, software is beginning to perform tasks that once required human thought. Writing, research, analysis, coding, summarization, translation. Not perfectly, not completely, but increasingly. This is the story of how artificial intelligence is reshaping knowledge work and why it may represent the next chapter in the Bay Area's century-long automation story. Before we discuss AI, we need to understand what knowledge work actually is. Unlike factory work or physical labor, knowledge work revolves around information, analysis, communication, problem-solving, decision support, specialized expertise. Examples include software development, marketing, consulting, finance, education, journalism, legal research. For decades, these professions seemed relatively insulated from automation. After all, they relied on thinking, and thinking appeared uniquely human. That assumption is now being tested. To understand what's happening today, we need historical perspective. The first major automation wave targeted physical work, industrial machinery, factories, agricultural equipment, assembly lines. Machines amplified human labor. Workers became dramatically more productive. Then came the information age. Computers automated calculations. Databases automated record keeping. Enterprise software automated administrative tasks. Again, productivity increased. But most systems still required humans to perform higher-level cognitive work. The machine processed information. The human interpreted it. That boundary is beginning to shift. The most important thing about modern AI is not that it calculates. Computers have been calculating for decades. The most important thing is that AI increasingly performs tasks involving language, pattern recognition, information synthesis, content generation. Historically, these activities required human effort. Today, AI systems can assist with writing documents, generating software code, summarizing research, answering questions, analyzing information, translating languages. The capabilities continue expanding. And with every expansion, the relationship between humans and software evolves. If you've followed Bay origins from the beginning, this moment should feel familiar. Fairchild helped automate computation. Intel democratized computing power. Apple brought computing to individuals. Google democratized access to information. Salesforce democratized software. OpenAI and Anthropic expanded access to AI. Each generation reduced a different constraint. Each generation expanded human capability. Artificial intelligence represents the latest stage of that progression. Not automating muscles, not merely automating information, automating aspects of cognition itself. Throughout history, every major technological revolution has been accompanied by the same question: will this technology replace workers? The steam engine raised it. The assembly line raised it. The personal computer raised it. The internet raised it. Now AI raises it again. The reality is more complicated. Current evidence suggests AI is primarily augmenting workers rather than fully replacing them. Writers use AI. Programmers use AI. Researchers use AI. Marketers use AI. Teachers use AI. The human remains involved. But the workflow changes. And workflow changes often produce enormous economic effects. The calculator analogy. Consider a simple example. A calculator didn't eliminate mathematicians. It changed how mathematicians worked. Spreadsheets didn't eliminate accountants. They changed how accountants worked. Search engines didn't eliminate researchers. They changed how researchers worked. Artificial intelligence may represent a similar transition. The question is not always whether jobs disappear. The question is how jobs evolve. And history suggests evolution is often the more common outcome. The new workflow. One reason AI feels different is because it changes the starting point. Historically, knowledge work often began with a blank page, a blank document, a blank spreadsheet, a blank presentation. Now AI can generate a first draft, a rough analysis, a code prototype, a research summary. The human increasingly becomes editor, reviewer, strategist, decision maker. The workflow shifts, and shifts in workflow often create entirely new professions. The uncertainty. It's important to acknowledge something. Unlike many Bay origin stories, this chapter is still unfolding. Historians know what happened with Fairchild, Intel, Google, Apple. The long-term effects of AI remain uncertain. Researchers continue debating which jobs will change, how quickly adoption will occur, whether productivity gains will be large or moderate, what entirely new careers might emerge. We are living inside the story, which makes prediction difficult. A useful way to understand modern AI is through comparison. The Industrial Revolution amplified physical labor. The Information Revolution amplified information processing. The AI revolution amplifies aspects of cognition. Not human consciousness, not human understanding, but specific cognitive tasks. Language generation, information retrieval, pattern recognition, content creation. The distinction matters, because these activities sit at the center of modern economies. Why this matters? Knowledge work represents a significant portion of economic activity. Businesses depend on it. Governments depend on it. Universities depend on it. Professionals depend on it. When the tools of knowledge work change, institutions change. Workflows change. Expectations change. Business models change. And sometimes entire industries change. That's why this moment matters. Not because AI is perfect, but because it may alter how millions of people perform intellectual work. Throughout Bay origins, we've followed a continuous story stretching from semiconductors to artificial intelligence. The transistor, the microprocessor, personal computing, the internet, cloud software, generative AI. Each stage expanded the role of computing. First computation, then information, now cognition. Whether AI ultimately proves as transformative as previous revolutions remains to be seen. But the trajectory is unmistakable. Computers are becoming increasingly capable partners in intellectual work. And once again, the Bay Area stands near the center of that transformation. Which brings us back to the question at the heart of Bay origins. Why did it happen here? Perhaps because Silicon Valley has spent nearly a century pursuing the same goal, expanding human capability through technology. Only now, the capability being expanded is thought itself. The innovator's ledger. Lesson 1. Technology usually changes jobs before it eliminates them. Most historical technologies transformed workflows long before they eliminated occupations. Pay attention to task-level change, not just job titles. Lesson 2. The biggest opportunity is often augmentation. AI's greatest near-term value may come from helping humans work faster and better. Look for partnerships between people and machines. Lesson 3. Every automation wave creates new work. History shows that technological revolutions often eliminate some tasks while creating entirely new categories of work. Adaptability remains a competitive advantage. Founder's question. AI is increasingly performing cognitive tasks that once required human effort. If routine thinking becomes dramatically cheaper, what forms of human judgment become more valuable? Computers once automated calculation. Software later automated information management. Now artificial intelligence is beginning to automate aspects of cognition itself, not replacing human intelligence, but increasingly collaborating with it. The implications are still unfolding. The future remains uncertain. But one thing is already clear. The relationship between humans and machines is entering a new chapter. And once again, that chapter is being written in the Bay Area. This is Bay Origins, birthplace of the future.